Hey everybody, I'm Chandler and welcome. This is a really awesome episode to tune into. I have a special guest here. This is Kelly from Ready Set Drone, and he is going to teach us a little bit about how to grow your own YouTube channel. He has successfully gotten over 100,000 subscribers, and I don't know about you, but I could really use some tips on how to get over some mistakes that I think that we're personally making. So I'm Chandler, Kelly, and this is Busy Lab. So our channel's relatively new, and lucky for me, I work with someone who has a lot of experience in YouTube. So Kelly, could you tell us a little bit about how you got started and...
Sure. First of all, Chandler, thanks for having me on Busy Lab. I'm a fan of the show, and I definitely would love to give you my input on a few things. But to go back a moment, Ready Set Drone was started in 2014. I did a review of a little tiny drone that had first come out. It was a toy drone you could fly around, and I actually shot it in our studio, where we both work. And it was something that I posted and kind of forgot about it. And then after a couple of months, I looked at it and had a couple of thousand views. And I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. I kept posting, and because I love aerial photography and drone racing and all those kind of topics, it was really something I wanted to do anyway. So I figured if I could make enough money to support my drone habit, that would be a win. And so ever since then, I've been going pretty hard at it and having a good time and learning how to grow a YouTube channel.
That's awesome. It sounds like your topic selection was pretty natural, but what would you say is something good to consider when you're just starting out your YouTube channel and you're trying to just find your audience?
Absolutely. So I was kind of going to cover a few things that I think small channels do incorrectly or don't quite optimized when they're getting started. And topic selection is one of the very first things. So I once heard at a presentation, somebody said this awesome thing that stuck with me. There's really only 4 things video can do. It's inspire, educate, entertain, or persuade. Inspire, educate, entertain, persuade. And a lot of people who start their YouTube channels want to be an entertainer. They're funny, they want to do laugh, they want to do jokes, they want to do pranks, they want to do, or maybe they want to inspire people and, like have a channel about, daily inspirations and you can do it and all that kind of stuff. And that's all great. Those are really noble things to want to do on YouTube. However, they're not very searchable. Most people, if you think about how do you use YouTube, how do most people out there, most people go to the computer or their phone and they type in something like, who is the best actor in this movie? Or how do I change the P-trap in my sink? Or how do I install a garbage disposal? It's always like, how do I do this? Or what is this? And so the very first thing you should consider on a YouTube channel, and this is why drones has been a great topic, is what are people searching for? And find something that will educate people about that, something you feel passionate about, whether it's why there's so many makeup tutorials out there, because it's a popular topic, right? Yeah. Also, when you're searching for your topic, you don't want a topic that is too popular and too saturated. So makeup tutorials, as an example, is a very saturated topic. Okay. And while there's a lot of people searching for, makeup techniques, how to do Halloween makeup, how to do, which I know something you're into, all those kind of topics, you want to find something that is searchable, but also niche enough that it isn't totally flooded. So that's really, that's step number 1. And I think that's where a lot of people kind of make a mistake when they're starting their YouTube channel, is they pick something that's way too specific, way too broad, or they don't go with that whole idea of education at all, and they just do something that's, hey, I'm gonna vlog about my life. Well, honestly, nobody cares about your life until you have an audience. Once you have an audience, you can start vlogging about your life. But when you're first starting out, I highly recommend doing something that's searchable.
After searchable, what would be, I guess if you had to boil it down to 5, searchable, what would be the second most important thing?
Well, the searchable topic, right, is number 1. And then number 2 is very related to that, and that is treating YouTube as a search engine. Most people know this, maybe you don't, maybe you do. Google owns YouTube, right? They bought YouTube years ago, and YouTube is the second largest behind Google search engine in the world. It's ahead of Bing, it's ahead of Yahoo, it's ahead of any other search engine that you might use. And a lot of times when you're searching for something, the results show up as YouTube videos. Right. It counts. That's something they look into. So you have to treat your titles, your keywords, your descriptions, your tags, all the things you put into your YouTube video should be treated as search terms. So one tool I love to use is Google Trends, trends.google.com. It's free, and you can go in and type in 2 different topics. I'll give you a quick example. I did a video not too long ago, 10 best drones under $500. And I'm trying to remember, I don't remember the exact title, but it was something like that. But before I posted it, I actually went and typed in 10 best drones, and then I typed in 10 top drones, then top 10 drones. I typed in all these variations, and it actually turned out that one of them was searched for way more than the others. And the title meant the same thing. It was basically the same idea, but it was a search term. I worked on a video recently about sleep apnea, and the hospital that we did it for had actually used a term that wasn't sleep apnea. It was some other more medical term that they were using, and it wasn't getting found. And I was like, what is this really about? It's about sleep apnea. Well, technically it's about blah, blah, blah. But what are people searching for? You know, and they, as soon as they changed the title from the more technical medical term to sleep apnea, it took off.
So writing descriptions, obviously very important, taking the time to really make sure it's optimized. That just, I feel like, adds even more time to what already takes a lot of time to make YouTube videos. And I heard that you need to post pretty regularly, but you don't want to post too many because then you're annoying your followers. Like, what's your kind of stance on that?
So I would say, yes, posting regularly is very, very important. Google rewards you for posting regularly. They look at your channel and they see if you're posting on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, just at a regular interval that's not too far apart, they put you in the recommended column more often. So those recommended videos come from channels that they view as regular content creators. If you're just a one-off and then you go for months before you post again, they really don't take you that seriously, and they say, well, okay, this might have been a great video, but this isn't a channel that people are going to come back to again and again because there's no new content. So posting regularly, I would say, you know, if you shoot 5 videos in a couple of days, let's say, and you had the choice of either posting them 5 days in a row, like 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, or spacing them out over 5 weeks, you're much better off to space them out over 5 weeks on a regular basis.
So lucky for us, we work in a video production company and we have access to a lot of great equipment. Say you don't have that access. How important is it to have really fancy equipment? Can you still make your own YouTube channel if you don't?
So that's a great question, and I feel like a lot of people get kind of wrapped up on that. Like they feel like, oh, okay, I'm going to buy this expensive camera and all this sort of thing. You don't need that. You can shoot a lot of things with your phone. There are some basic techniques you should use, and I'm not going to go into them here, but in terms of, you know, making sure you have the right amount of light, and really the most important thing is making sure people can hear you clearly, that you're not recording in a really loud environment. So if you are using your phone and you're doing kind of the selfie thing, that's fine, but just speak up and make sure you're close enough to your phone that people can hear you, that you're shooting horizontally, you know, unless you're shooting for Instagram TV or something crazy like that. You know, there are some basic things you should do, but yes, you can create a YouTube channel with just some starter equipment, just a little handheld camera, pocket camera, a phone, but make sure people can hear you, make sure they can see you, make sure you're clear. And then I would say also, just make sure that you're authentic, right? That's more important by far than fancy equipment, is being a real person who people can relate to.
Okay, so you definitely don't need fancy equipment, but I'm lucky enough to have it, and even I sometimes get frustrated. I feel like, why don't I have 1 million subscribers right now? How did you get over that kind of slump?
So that's a great question, and that really kind of gets into the 5th thing for me is you gotta dedicate yourself to this. You have to be willing to put in the work, you know, to post regularly, to do the research, to find the topics people are looking for. I think a lot of people give up too soon. You know, I think it takes a long time to get that first 100 subscribers, and then it takes a little less time to get the 1,000 subscribers. You know, I just saw a video recently with Casey Neistat. He just got 10 million subscribers. By the time you're watching this, it might be 20, who knows. But he said this really well. He said, you know, getting to 10 million was actually easier than getting to 1 million. And getting to 1 million was actually easier than getting to 100,000. So as you grow up and you build an audience, you basically figure out what works and you do more of that, right? That's really the key. So as you're in your infancy, you're still trying to figure out what works. And a lot of people, I feel like, give up before they do figure out what works. And when they have that one video that just really takes off and they're like, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, maybe this will be that video for us, who knows? But the point is that if you can have that tenacity and that dedication and also the flexibility to change, right? If you realize something isn't working, then change, change your topic, change your look, change your style, whatever. But if you follow the principles we talked about, I think it will get you there.
So if I want to get 100,000 subscribers, what are the 5 mistakes that I need to avoid?
Yes. So number one is you want to make sure you pick the right topic, a topic that you feel passionate about and that has searchability that people are looking for. How do I, or what is the, or whatever.
Okay.
Number two, you want to make sure you put that search engine love into that topic every time you post a video with the titles, tags, keywords, descriptions, etc. And you can do that using Google Trends and a variety of ways. Number three, you want to make sure you post regularly. And if you can only post infrequently, make sure it's on a regular basis. So even if it's every week or 10 days, make sure you're doing that. I would say minimum of a week. That'll grow you faster. 3 videos a week will grow you even faster, and every day will grow you even faster if it's good content. Number 4 is don't get wrapped around the axle about the equipment. Make sure you have something that looks and sounds decent, especially sounds where people can understand you and you don't sound hard or inaudible, but you can start off with just a phone, honestly, as long as you shoot it the right way. And then finally, don't give up, don't get frustrated, be flexible and be willing to make changes as you go, because ultimately getting to 100, getting to 1,000, that's the hard part. Once you get to 10,000 and you have some momentum, it really gets easier because you've figured out what your audience likes, your audience knows who you are, and Google starts to give you some love.
Yeah, well, I'm ready for Google to give us our love. Thank you so much for coming and helping us out. I feel a lot more excited, and I hope this has really inspired some of you guys. For more cool topics like this, come and join us and subscribe to the Busy Lab. Thanks.